What's up, everybody? This is Rob from LearnBridge.nyc, and you're looking at the results from our most recent online Pro-Am. Each week we'll play a Pro-Am on BridgeBase, and if you want to play in this tournament, just sign up via the link below this video or visit www.learnbridge.nyc, and the sign up link will be right on the front page. So to test your wits against the best pros in the game, sign up each week and you'll play these hands before you get to see the results in the video you're looking at now. Let's jump into board number one from the April 6th tournament. The most normal contract is just to play 4 clubs, and the auction you're looking at here is pretty standard. East opens 1 diamond, and we overcall 2 clubs. And after West raises diamonds and our partner raises clubs, we can compete to the 4 level. We have lots of trumps. It doesn't look like our defense is going to be that terrific considering the length we have in clubs. And as we can see on the hand itself, diamonds is a pretty good contract for them. They might not be able to make it, but from our perspective, it looks likely. And even if we're in 4 clubs down 1, it should be better than letting them play 3 diamonds. So when we look at this hand, we can see they lead the 10 of hearts, and they pretty much did this at every table. And the right hand opponent, East, does much better if they play a low heart. They only give us 2 heart tricks. When they cover with the king, we get to take advantage of this situation, and it's because our left-hand opponent led the 10 of hearts. Now, this is usually one of 2 things. The most common thing it is top of touching honors. Now, the 10 is absolutely an honor card, right? We always consider it an honor, so when we lead it, we should have the 9 behind it because we're going to lead top of touching honors. The other slight possibility is its shortness, but that seems super unlikely on this hand because East would then have to have a lot of hearts, and that doesn't make a ton of sense on the way the auction went. So it's very likely to be 10-9. So when East makes the mistake of covering the jack with the king, we get to take advantage of that after we draw trump. And we do that just by leading a low heart, and if West plays low, we insert the 8. And this is a cool kind of no-risk finesse now. It's very likely it's going to win when we play the 8. However, if it loses somehow, we still get to pitch away a loser on that good queen of hearts in the dummy. So this is no risk, right? We're not really worried if it loses that we're going to, lose an extra trick because of it because we get to pitch a loser on that card. But when it wins, we get to pitch a diamond right away, and now we only lose 2 spades and 1 diamond. Let's take a look at how unlucky John Hurd got on this hand. He had a slightly different auction but ended up in the same contract. But on the 10 of hearts lead, when we play the queen from the dummy, they duck it as the East player. And now we'll see that John cannot possibly make this contract because East defended correctly. And that's a really bad beat for those of you that actually went down in 4 clubs, because if the opponents defend correctly and duck that heart, you cannot make 4. On board number 2, you're looking at the most normal result. We should absolutely be in game on this hand, and you are the one that has to bid it. The auction starts with us opening 1 spade. West overcalls 2 clubs, and North bids 2 spades. They just raise our spade bid right away. And East bids 3 clubs. Here's where we bid 4 spades, folks. Those of you that did not bid 4 spades forgot to count your extra values, and they are super extra values here because not only do we have a void, we have a void in the suit that the opponents are bidding and raising. That's always awesome, right? And we have 17 high card points. 3, 2. So we have 15 high card points plus the void. We have about a 20 count when we're just looking at playing points in this case. So even though partner may be very light, like 5 or 6 points, we still should reliably assume we have a good shot at making game. So that's why we bid 4 spades. And as it turns out, we'll make 12 tricks. We should be in 4 spades, making 6 on this board. Board 3 is all about getting the slam, and that best slam is 6, no trump. And you'll take a look at my auction here. I opened 2 clubs. Partner made the obligatory 2 diamond response, and I chose to jump to 3 no trump with this hand. I treated it more like a 25 count than the 24 that you're looking at. However, if you're not going to bid 3 no, you probably want to bid 2 no instead of just bidding your major suit. Think about this hand. You're balanced. You have good cards in all 4 suits, and if you have a major suit fit, you're likely to find it after you bid 2 no trump because partner's going to bid Stayman or transfers because all of those systems are still available there. So if you chose to open this 2 clubs and didn't want to bid 3 no, you can bid 2 no and still have a very good chance of getting to the correct spot. If you jump to 3 no like I did, your partner's just going to bid 6 no trump, Super easy auction. However, if you bid 2-no instead, like Joe Grew does here, you'll get a quantitative raise by North. I want to make sure you guys don't mistake this for keycard. It can never be keycard because what haven't we established yet? We have not established a fit. So in these cases, when we do not have a fit, we haven't even ever bid a real suit, to be honest. This has to be, hey, if you're at the high end of that range you just showed me, I want you to bid 6. And if you're at the low end, I want you to pass. And we'll just play 4-no trump. And as I said, we're at the very high end. And you can see some of the pros just jumping to 3-no trump after opening 2 clubs. So it's a no-brainer here. We bid 6-no trump. And all we're going to lose is a diamond in the play. So this is the best score you can achieve, 6-no trump, making 6 on board 3. So board 4, you're looking at what I think is the best auction, and it's because of what we have seen throughout the auction. What we start with is 3 passes. So automatically we know that our partner does not have an opening hand, and we have kind of not a super ugly, but just a 12 count. We're at the very low end of our opening bid range, but we should still open, right? This is perfectly reasonable to open 1 diamond. And when partner bids 1 spade, you'll see myself and a lot of the other pros just passing. And this is because it seems terribly unlikely that with our 12 count and partner's failure to open in just 1 spade response, we're unlikely to be making a game. Unfortunately, on this end, because of the distribution of the cards, it's a lucky circumstance where you can make 4 spades, but it's a really bad spot to be in most of the time. So in this situation, even with these cards, you're still unlikely to make 4. You don't necessarily want to be higher than you need to be. And if you pass 1 spade, the auction will end and you'll just get to play a comfortable 1 spade contract. People that did choose to bid either got to 3 or 4 spades. But in reality, passing 1 spade is probably your best spot in these types of tournaments. Even at the bridge table in general, it's not terrible to pass 1 spade because, again, we know partner didn't open the bidding. And if you're like me and you play with some aggressive partners, you know that when they don't open the bidding and then they come in with a major suit response, that they can't have a very good 11 or even a super good 10 because they're very likely to have opened in those situations already. So based on that information and the fact that this is a best hand tournament, so we know partner can't have more than our 12 count, we can just pass and play 1 spade. As it turns out, if you're in 1 spade making 3, you're going to get 67.4%, which was a lot of the field here. If you did end up getting to 4 spades, you had a very lucky lay of the cards to make 4, but in reality, just playing 1 spade is pretty reasonable here. And on board 5, you're looking at the best auction. The difference between this auction and some other auctions is after partner bids 2 spades, some of you jump to 4 spades, which in this type of tournament might be okay considering partner can't really have a ton of extra values because this is a best hand tournament. But I want to show you how you would bid this in a realistic sense always. And that's what I always try to do unless I'm trying to gain a score. I'll try to bid it exactly the way I would like you to bid it. And here, your hand has extra values. You've already game forced. That's the key. When partner opens a spade, you bid 2 diamonds. And partner now rebids 2 spades. Now for us, for all of us, I think, this should show 6 cards in the spade suit. The robot, however, may only have 5 if they're very balanced like this. And that's just one quick thing I want to mention here. When they do rebid 2 spades over your 2 over 1 bid, they may not have 6. So if you didn't have 3 card support, you would try to do something else and see if they now rebid spades a 3rd time, which would be at least 6. But as it turns out, you have 3 card spade support. And the fact that you have extra values should mean that you should just be going slowly. Remember, we're in a game forcing auction, so the slower we approach that game, the more values we're showing. And that's what we want to do here. We don't want to jump to 4 spades because now we're just shutting it down. If partner has a good hand, they won't continue. So we bid 3 spades. And here's where partner could make a control bid or do something else to continue this auction. And you see them just bid 4 spades, which just says, hey, I have a minimum hand. I have no interest in going further. And now you can confidently pass with the south hand. It's interesting, though, if you do jump to 4 spades, I believe the opponents let you make an over trick. As you can see here, if they lead a heart, you cannot make it. And that's exactly what happens here. Because after the heart lead, they come through with a club. getting their partner the king of clubs. If we win the ace here, it's the same difference because now when they win the ace of spades, they cash a club then. So here, once we see them return a club, we have no choice but to take a finesse and hope it's working, and it's not. And now we can only make 10 tricks. If you jumped to four spades, though, they lead a spade. And now they don't have the time to develop that club because we're going to be able to pitch it on these nice long diamonds over here at some point. So if you were in four spades making four, that's all you really should make on good defense. Once again, you get punished because some other people made five, and we'll show you why that is. We can take a look here, and we can see that either the opponents are not taking the ace of hearts, again giving us time to draw trump and pitch away our losers on diamonds, or they're just leading something other than a heart at trick one. So if that happened, you were able to make five, but in reality, you're probably supposed to be in four spades just making four on good bidding and good defense. Board six saw two potential contracts here. The first and best is probably to play three clubs. However, a lot of us, including myself and Sandra and Shane and some of the other pros, decided to pass the forcing no trump. And this is weird, I understand. But when you're a minimum balanced hand, which is exactly what we're looking at here, we have 12 points. We have 5-3-3-2 distribution. It's very unlikely we can make a game, obviously, considering partner limited their hand when they bid a no trump. So we might be best just sitting and playing one no trump. As it turns out, it's terrible. When those of us that passed the forcing no trump and decided to just give it a shot at one no, got to a bad no trump contract and we can't make it. We're just going to go down on most of the defensive lines here. If you bid two clubs, which is the correct response if we're playing the forcing no trump, we get to play three clubs and likely make it. And you can take a look at all the people that were in three clubs. You can make one over trick usually. And it's just going to come down to setting up the right suit, which in this case, if we set up diamonds and dummy, we're probably going to take 10 tricks and even a shot at 11 if you drop the queen of clubs, which you shouldn't. Right, this is a 8 ever, 9 never situation. You should always take the club finesse, which means you should only take 10 tricks. For those of you that were in three clubs down, take a look at the lines of play here, where the people are in three clubs making four. I'll show you exactly how to take 10 tricks on this particular deal. So board 7 should have been passed out. If you're considering opening this hand in first seat, you know, normally I would say you're crazy, right? Except these pros, amazingly enough, chose the same opening bid because it looks similar to a hand we saw, I think, the week earlier. This is a special tournament, obviously, because we are guaranteed to have the best hand at the table every time. So the pros that chose to open this hand decided to try to take advantage of that situation, and in my opinion, got super lucky to find their partner with this hand. They opened a club, amazingly enough, and that was every pro. They opened one club, and partner responded one spade, and they just raised the two spades. So, in my opinion, this was a very lucky hand for these pros and a hand that we should not open ever. But in this tournament, it might be acceptable considering we do know that partner has exactly 10 points. So if we find some sort of fit, we're going to be very happy. If we don't find a fit, though, and if the opponents end up bidding, we rate to do okay on defense because we have half the points in the deck. But we're rolling the dice when we decide to open it because we're going so far beyond what the field will do. All of you are going to pass this, including myself. So when you choose to open it, you're essentially shooting for a top or a bottom. But with these players here, the skill level is kind of off the charts for all these guys. So those of them that chose to open have supreme confidence in their declare play like they should. And they end up getting to a spot where they can go plus. But if they were to go minus in this situation, they turn their 95.7% into more like a 2% score. So it's high risk and obviously high reward here. So congrats to those pros who decided to open this hand, but again, not the best spot to be choosing to open, especially in first seat. So board number 8, you're looking at one of the best results you can achieve on this board. The best result is actually to somehow get the opponents to play two clubs doubled, but that's a tough ask because of the auction that exists in front of you. And this is a little different than normal because your one heart bid occurs in the balancing seat, West has opened one club and it went two passes to you. So when this happens, you don't have to have your full value to make this balancing bid because it's so important that you protect your partner's hands that they couldn't overcall with over one club. So our one heart bid is not necessarily full value because of the seat we're making it in. And that is why when North bids a no trump, we know that they should have more than just their normal one no trump response because we could be quite light in this spot. And as you see, the no trump bid for the robot says it's 11 to 13 points. So at this point, you should think you have a very good shot at playing game, which is why I just patterned my hand out and bid two spades. My partner raised to four spades, and I was able to make five in this case. If we did something else originally, we may have gotten to different contracts, and really the best contracts were here. But this is a huge risk. You can see Sandra and Raluca past one no trump, which is tough because they may be missing a game, and as it turns out, they were. But when the West player decides to balance with two clubs, they get a huge result by just balancing with a double, and partner just sits back and says, "Let's defend." And you're going to get it three tricks on perfect defense. So they end up getting a very good score, but by taking a lot of risking missing game. Now, the best results are playing four spades, or sometimes some of you were able to play three no trump. Here's Radu just raising the game in no trump, and I'm sure Joe and Shane around the same. Right, they're inviting the game and or raising the game and playing three no trump. So thanks a lot for playing this week, guys, and I will see you in next week's tournament. Again, www.learnbridge.nyc in your browser will get, and just sign up and play against the pros each week in the weekly Pro Am on Bridge Base. Thanks a lot, folks. I'll see you at the tables.